Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
We are following breaking news. You are watching here live from SkyCal. A police pursuit underway right here on this white SUV. This is on the 5 in the Norwalk area. We see traffic starting to slow down a bit, but this SUV now getting squeezed out of that, looks like the lane there. And you can see the CHP right behind that white SUV. Now, they were trying to stop this Ford Explorer because of a hit and run. And it started all the way up in Victorville and has now made its way all the way down to Norwalk, and this person still refusing to stop for the CHP, but you see them right there on the tail of that white Expedition. But a lot of traffic slowing here in this area on the 5. I mean, you can't say that you know, you're going to see a lot of open roadway on a Friday afternoon, a little after 2 o'clock. If you are familiar at all with the LA area, you can see, though, that this SUV has very dark windows. We often talk about those dark windows, and you can't see how many people are in this SUV, except we know only about the driver, and that this driver was involved in some type of a hit and run up in the Victorville area and has now made their way all the way to Norwalk. This has been certainly a very dangerous pursuit at times. That driver going well over 100 miles an hour. They have slowed down considerably because of the amount of traffic, but they are still trying to make some desperate moves going there on the shoulder of the freeway there to get around. We can see at least the arm of that driver there, but still not exactly sure if that is a male or a female driving, but they are certainly making some desperate attempts to get away from law enforcement, those CHP officers that are right behind, and making more aggressive moves there, going from the shoulder all the way back over to the fast lane. But you can see a number of those CHP cruisers, 3 right there in that frame. It looks like they are staying very close to this driver. And the thing here is, on a freeway like this, especially a crowded freeway, it's almost impossible for them to put out spike strips or do a pit maneuver. So unless this person chooses to stop, it's going to be very difficult. We have seen pit maneuvers happen on freeways, but usually it's when it's going very slow and there's not a lot of traffic on the freeway, and certainly too many cars on that stretch of roadway to even attempt a pit maneuver or put out spike strips. Now, you can see there on that driver's side door, there are some marks. We don't know if those marks were caused by the initial hit and run that happened. We don't have much information just yet on that hit and run, only that that is why officers started after this driver. Now, it looks like this person's getting off of the 5 freeway. They were heading north. They've gotten off, and this is certainly something that increases really the complexities of this pursuit, because you've got people, oh, looks like this person's going, wow, okay. They're doing some desperate maneuvering here, going off-road, now getting back on this road. This is Lakewood Boulevard, and it looks like maybe getting back on the freeway, but this is very aggressive driving, and back on the freeway, which is in many ways better because everyone is heading in the same direction. There aren't stop signs, there aren't pedestrians, there aren't red lights. Everyone's going in the same direction. So while still dangerous, it's not as dangerous as the surface street. So this person is right back up on the 5, but now they're heading south on the 5. So they've kind of done a reversal here in the direction, but you can still see they are going quite fast, around 75, and there's still traffic, but it doesn't seem like the traffic is as thick as it was on the northbound side, but still plenty of traffic on the roadway here with this driver who is refusing to stop for those CHP officers. And again, if you're just joining us, this is breaking news. This is a pursuit of a hit and run suspect that driving in that white SUV, going about 85 miles per hour now that we are seeing from SkyCal, but at times was going well over 100 miles an hour when the road was a little less crowded. But now this person we have seen do some very aggressive maneuvering to avoid these officers that are really close behind. We can see at least, we've seen at least 3 CHP cruisers right behind this driver. But they're picking up speed again, and it's hard to tell exactly how much traffic is ahead. But again, this is the 5 South in the Montebello area. And again, this started up in Victorville. So they've been going for a while. Oh, it is the 5 north, not the south side of the 5. But again, this person refusing to pull over or stop for these officers. And it's still hard to tell if there's anyone else in this car or if, in fact, that is a male or female driver. We can just see one arm in the window there. But slowing down again, we can see certainly a lot of traffic on this 5 north Friday afternoon, a little after 2. Certainly plenty of folks trying to get out of town, heading 5 north. But lots of traffic, and the traffic, I can imagine, is only going to get worse as the time continues here, because more and more people are getting off work, getting out of school, and trying to make their little weekend getaway on this Friday. Lots of folks out there, but you can see at least 2 cruisers there in that shot. We know that there is at least a third, and they are picking up pace here, getting back in that fast lane. But you can see the speeds definitely picking up. And another white SUV right in front of that white SUV, the Ford, that is being chased right there. But we're watching as this traffic is slowing, and we can only see that SUV. But they're not going to, you know, slow down. It looks like perhaps that SUV was slowing down. Maybe they were thinking it was time to slow down because they saw those CHP cruisers, lights and sirens going, so they thought maybe they should slow down. But the person that they're actually pursuing is avoiding all of those directions to pull over or slow down. And so this driver, again, picking up speed again while there is a little opening in the stretch of the 5. Again, this is the 5 north now. Picking up a little bit more traffic and heading back over to the side there. We're showing you on the right side of your screen a little shot from just moments ago when this driver, instead of being caught up in that traffic, chose to go off that roadway and then get back on the 5. And really aggressive driving there. Fortunately, folks were stopped at that red light, but this person just refusing to give up, doesn't want to stop. And again, we're watching as they've just been on shoulders. Besides being off the road, this driver just doing whatever they can to avoid the traffic that is really building up here on the 5 this Friday afternoon. Passing by, it looked like Washington Avenue, and looks like they might be trying to perhaps get off, or maybe just do another aggressive move to try to get around slowing vehicles. And that's exactly what this person is doing. They are staying on the 5 northbound side there, but really aggressive driving. We do know that this person was wanted for hit and run up in Victorville. And officers did try to make a stop, but this person has just refused to stop. And they've certainly got their work cut out for them, as traffic is definitely slowing on a Friday afternoon. Getting caught up a little bit behind slowing vehicles. And again, you know, folks are driving along. They see the cruisers there, lights and sirens, and they don't know that officers are actually chasing this white SUV. But the stretch of roadway looking a little more open here, but certainly no signs of giving up. We're just watching as this driver is really just doing all that they can, picking up speeds now, going a little over 80 miles an hour. Sometimes it's hard to tell exactly how fast or how slow they're going from up above from SkyCal, but it looks like they're getting off again here. This is at Atlantic Boulevard. Now going to Telegraph, and you can see those CHP cruisers certainly closing in. And, you know, we talk about the different agencies and how they all conduct these pursuits, and CHP is certainly very good at this, and giving this SUV a little more space here. Sometimes they'll hang back a little bit, hoping that the driver will slow down, but we are not seeing that at all. This driver certainly picking up pace, and trying to see, this is Telegraph Road here. But really aggressive driving, very frightening. They're in that middle area there that no one should be driving in. This is certainly a turning situation, so this certainly makes it dangerous if people are unaware that this person is heading up. Oh, on the wrong side of the road. You see somebody on a bicycle over there going on the wrong side of the road. Amazingly, no car is heading in that direction, but that's because they were stopped there at that light back on the right side of the road, which is at least a safer situation for the folks that are out there. This car going over 60 miles an hour on Telegraph Road. Coming up, this car going over 60 miles an hour on Telegraph Road. Coming up to another intersection, making this turn here. This was onto Washington Boulevard, and you can see the CHP has, slowed back, held back just a little bit, because oftentimes that will get that driver to slow down a little bit, but that is not the case with this particular driver in that white SUV. Again, they were wanted for a hit and run up in the Victorville area that's happening about maybe 30 minutes or so ago. And they just are refusing to stop. And we often talk about how much more dangerous it is when they are on these surface streets, because you've got pedestrians, you've got people going at a much slower pace, running right through that intersection, not stopping at all. Really dangerous. There are no lights and sirens close behind, so people don't know that this vehicle is coming so fast down these small streets. These are, looks like residential streets here. Very aggressive turns here, and you wonder if they know where they're going at this point, if they're trying to get to a house. But this is certainly dangerous, going over 60 miles an hour on these smaller surface streets, going through another intersection, not stopping, not slowing down, another aggressive turn onto, again, this is East Washington Boulevard, picking up pace again here. And these roads are surprisingly empty on a Friday afternoon, a little after 2. Which is certainly a good thing. We're seeing a few cars here, but for the most part, a lot of open roadway. And this person is not slowing down, going well over 60 miles an hour. And looks like coming up to another intersection, making another turn here. We are on Eastern Avenue now. Eastern Avenue. Really going faster than they should be going, certainly on these types of streets, but no sign of slowing down or stopping for officers. But you can see the helicopter there in the shot. Certainly officers are keeping a good bird's eye view of this vehicle, because those cruisers have slowed back down, getting back now onto the 5. But, this person just does not want to stop. And even though those cruisers really gave it some space, this person did not slow down at all. And now back into some traffic again on the 5, Friday afternoon, 2:15. There's plenty of traffic. And we are watching as this driver is, I believe, on the shoulder there, not quite in the lane here, it looks like. But certainly getting around all of this traffic, and this is usually the time when we'll see those cruisers get a little closer to this person, this driver, now that they're on the highway, and they saw that, giving it a little space wasn't going to do really any good, because they did not slow down one bit. And so they are trying to avoid all of this traffic now. On the right side here of the roadway, this is the 5 South. In the Commerce area, and still plenty of traffic. You can see again that cruiser getting a little closer to that white SUV there, and it might be, let's see, trying to get off again. This is over, gosh, are we getting right back over to Washington Boulevard? All right, this might be a familiar area. They're flying right through that intersection, and we see now that cruiser is closer behind. There's another one waiting almost, it seems, getting into this. They might be picking up somebody new in this, because, of course, this takes a lot of concentration, a lot of work, and so they may be adding another CHP officer to kind of relieve another officer who may need a little break from this. That is the advantage of being able to switch out. The driver, of course, that they're chasing has to keep doing all of this work, but the officers are able to do a little tag team action and really be focused and be ready to really maneuver. But we're watching again. This is a pursuit of a hit-and-run driver. You can see that person really aggressive, getting off of the road a bit. This is a an SUV that can maneuver those curbs and getting off of the roadway. And we're getting under this bridge here, and certainly traffic is slowing down, much slower now, going only about 10 miles an hour there at one point, but picking back up. And we'll see if this driver is going to stay on the 5 or get off again. Looks like they've been very aggressive here trying to get away from traffic, and sometimes it looks like they're getting off only to then get back on, but this time they're exiting. This is Garfield Avenue, Bandini and Garfield, back on another surface street, picking up speed again, but you can see that cruiser right behind. And perhaps if there is a chance, they will attempt a pit maneuver or putting out spike strips, but there really hasn't been an opportunity. This car has been going so fast, and there's been so many other cars in the vicinity that it really hasn't been possible. And with a larger vehicle like this as well, it can make it a little more difficult to do that pit maneuver because that SUV is sitting up pretty high, so it does impact a pit maneuver. But we're watching now as this driver making more aggressive turns through intersections, and right now on Telegraph Road. So this driver hasn't really gone too far. They've been staying pretty much in the same vicinity. Might be a familiar area. They might be trying to meet up with someone or go to a particular place. This might be an area that they're very familiar with, so we'll just keep watching as they continue to go very fast on this Telegraph Road at Washington Boulevard. We keep seeing them go in the same area. They've been around Washington numerous times, getting back on the 5, then only to get back off and be around Washington. That looked like it was just 40 miles per hour, but this driver going well over 80 now. Yep, 45 miles an hour this area. And you can see there on the top right of your screen, this driver going about 70 miles an hour right there in the median area of Telegraph Road, and really trying to avoid all of that traffic, but certainly going through another intersection, 80 miles an hour. Just aggressive driving over on the left side there, over on the slow lanes. And you see, we just saw someone standing outside there going by the bus stops. This person just not slowing down, keeping the speed up, and we're watching to see if those CHP officers are actually backing away a little bit, and it looks like they are, hoping that this driver will slow down a bit, but no such luck. And now they're getting to a crowded intersection, and we've seen some very aggressive driving, and now this person looks like they're trapped in this intersection, maybe motioning to the person next to them that they want to go around. And this person, looks like they're blocking him in. We have not heard about any weapons in this vehicle. We do know that this was a hit-and-run suspect. We're watching as this person tried to, it looked like, kind of cinch them in a little bit, but officers are not right up behind there. And of course, people want to help, but officers do not want you to get involved. They do not want the help. Even though it may seem like a good idea at the time, it really can be dangerous. We don't know how desperate this person is to get away from those officers. We have not heard about any weapons, but you just never know when someone's this desperate what they are willing to do. Again, this is South Atlantic going around 90 miles an hour, certainly picking up the pace here. It seems like they are getting more and more desperate to get away from those officers there, but really aggressive driving, very dangerous as we are watching. This is South Atlantic Boulevard and Verona Street. Slowing down just a little bit as they go through that intersection, but wow, a lot of traffic out there on a Friday afternoon. Again, we're watching here, going through more intersections, CHP right there behind them, at least 3 of them. At South Atlantic Boulevard, Whittier Boulevard, going about 50 miles an hour. Again, this person wanted for a hit-and-run all the way up in Victorville. Still impossible to see. We have not been able to get a close look. Those windows are really tinted dark, so we can't see if anyone else is in that SUV. We only know of the one driver who is now on the wrong side of the road. Very dangerous, especially in that big vehicle. But we are watching as they continue up South Atlantic Boulevard. And Desmond Shaw is joining us now up in SkyCal. Desmond, this has been really an aggressive driver here. Have you heard if there is any chance that there's anyone else in this vehicle?
I have not heard anything about that. I've just been hearing the CHP here struggling to keep up with this vehicle, and oh, look at that kind of evasive maneuver there by that sheriff's deputy vehicle. So might have multiple agencies involved in this one. They've just been struggling to kind of keep up with this suspect and with the streets over the center divider now. That SUV doing a little bit of off-roading there onto the wrong side of the road. We've seen all kinds of super desperate maneuvers. I've been following this on the way to catch up with this pursuit. So as you said, Amy, out of the Victorville area, we've covered so much ground, but you know, we're getting into a really dangerous time of day. You're talking about the busiest day of the week, busiest traffic time. Everyone's starting to hit the road right now to get away for the weekend or just get home. Almost all of the freeways in the greater LA area are going to be very, very congested, but CHP seems like they're very determined to stick with this one. I mean, if they haven't given it up already, it seems like they are going to take this all the way till the end, regardless of how this is going to end. I mean, you would hope that this suspect would run out of gas or something, but I mean, even looking at CHP, they're going onto the wrong side of the road just to make sure that they keep up with this suspect. They seem really, really determined to stay as close as possible and not give them any kind of leeway without giving them, too much distance. Where so many times with these suspects, you give them an inch, you give them 10 seconds, they get out, they run, they hide. It turns into a big manhunt situation or a standoff situation, something like that. So they seem very determined to make sure that that does not happen, and all this because of a hit and run. So what else is going on with this person? That, I mean, this was already going to be a pretty serious charge, but I mean, now it's very, very serious, leading the authorities on a pursuit like this. Wrong side of the road, we've seen it so many times. It just seems like a matter of time for if someone comes out of an intersection, they don't see this person. We're talking about an SUV with some very, very high speeds going on the wrong side of the road. It is very, very dangerous for a lot of folks out here right now, Amy.
Yeah, Desmond, and we do have some video from a little earlier when this person actually took off of the road. Here it is right there. They were getting off of the 5. Too much traffic there at the intersection. You can see CHP right there on their tail. And so they went off the roadway there into that little area, the dirt area, and really had no trouble, kept control of the vehicle, and then jumped right back up on the 5. This is certainly the signs of somebody who is very desperate to get away, because we don't know what else they may be in trouble for. It starts out as hit and run, but you don't know what else. Why else are they running? Why else would they not stop for these CHP officers? And as you were mentioning, I mean, it's been a lot of traffic out there, and they are very desperate, really making some desperate moves to get away. Now we see school buses. I'm trying to see if we're near a school there. Desmond, certainly dangerous at 2:25. A lot of kids could be getting out of school soon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to start to see some school buses and some kids out there, just walking around. And I just get really concerned because, I mean, I see this way too often with people in crosswalks that just are not paying attention. If they're on their phone or they're just looking forward. And when you do this kind of job like I do, I just think about it so much with people just not paying attention in crosswalks. And when you have someone just blasting through intersections like this, I really hope that, as if we do see any children out here, that they're going to be looking alive, because this is this could end very, very badly as we get into, you're right, not just a more afternoon rush hour commute, but also kids getting out of school. And there are definitely going to be some schools that we're going to be passing by. We're very close to the 710 and the 60 interchange, kind of straddling East Los Angeles and Monterey Park, having to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting that person. This guy right here, just like, what the heck, man, as they wisely pull over. But yeah, you see just how quickly one miscalculation this could end very, very badly. 50 miles an hour with this huge SUV. I mean, you think about all that weight going that fast, that it could just make any crash that much more severe. So Eastern Avenue now, as we are bending back around, so we're headed up towards the 60 freeway, actually towards the 10 San Bernardino freeway, I should say. This parallels the 710 right now, so kind of coming up towards Cal State LA as well. As I look down at the 10 freeway, starting to see a little bit of that normal afternoon congestion on the eastbound side. Westbound, not too bad towards downtown LA, but yeah, where are they going? I mean, they were circling around Commerce for quite a long time as we were getting ready to catch up with this pursuit, wondering if that's where they wanted to get out and run. Someplace that they know, maybe into a friend's house or something like that. We've seen that plenty of times, but no, I mean, it continues here still just whatever it takes to try to get some distance with CHP. And, you know, we're also dealing with a vehicle that has a really high center of gravity. If they take these turns too sharp, too fast, could easily flip this vehicle over or fishtail and lose control. So there's just a lot going on with this pursuit as we're now over on Ramona Boulevard. So right up against the 10 freeway, right here, right up against the 710. This is going to bend around, and we'll see what the next move is going to be. But we're now in the San Gabriel Valley, so we went Cajon Pass down into Orange County, and then around into Commerce, hanging out around there a long time. And now we are getting into the San Gabriel Valley here, eastbound on Ramona.
Wow, okay. Still going quite fast, and we do have video of that close encounter. It did not appear that the SUV actually hit that car, but they came very close. I think we can show you that, but you know, we've been talking about the high rate of speed that this driver has been doing, and you know, we often talk about, you know, people are just driving. They're minding their own business. If the CHP, you know, gets back a little farther, they don't hear the sirens, they don't see the lights, and so they have no idea. They're just driving along, you know, enjoying their Friday afternoon. It's a beautiful day, and then all of a sudden you've got this huge white SUV just barreling up behind you, and we're going to show you that now, where you saw that one car, things were kind of slowing down, and look, very close, very close. They slammed on the brakes, that other car got over, and they quickly went past, but you know, that could have been really, really a bad crash, because as we've been talking, this is a huge SUV and going very fast. Looks like around 70 miles an hour at this point, Des?
Yeah, I mean, it is a full-size SUV for sure. And, you know, my hope is that because this is a full-size SUV and this person has been driving it so crazy, trying to get a look right now in the passenger seat and see if we see anyone there. Very hard to tell. I don't think so. I don't think I see anyone there. Oh, look at that, getting some air, though. On a really, nearly lost control right there. Wow. And now I think maybe the suspect has had enough.
Getting out to run.
All of a sudden, they are out there running. It looks like a lady that is out and running. I don't know what happened right there, but out and running after all of this. They are already starting to slow down.
Wow.
And CHP, they are ready to get out and nab this person. So running right up to CHP. Look at this, kind of crazy. And the tackle. And down on the ground. And there's the canine as well. Oh, boy, they had to stop the canine there because that dog was riled up and wanted a piece of this after being in that pursuit. But they managed to. She got very, very lucky there because that dog was ready to take a bite out of crime, so to speak.
Yes.
So we are at Dozier Street and McDonald Avenue. This is going to be in the East LA area and unincorporated LA County. A little bit of a foot pursuit there, but they got her in custody. So let's go out to the vehicle now and see if there's anyone else in this car. It doesn't appear so. They're not interested in this. I think they're still going to have to officially clear the car, but must have good reason to believe that she was the only one in the vehicle there. It almost looked like at the end like she was running around and maybe like she was going to try to take the CHP cruiser or something like that, but they got her tackled on the ground, now in handcuffs, and this extremely dangerous pursuit now comes to an end, Amy.
Yeah, definitely a surprise though, Desmond, I have to say. It, you know, and all these times that this driver wasn't stopping, took that one big dip, we could really see that the driver really lost control. And I'm guessing that you said that this is a woman. I want to make sure it's not a man with long hair, but we're watching here. You see through that intersection, I mean, they really struggled there, but it didn't seem like anything happened to the vehicle. It seemed like they stopped and then just got out to run. And you can see that person running there. You have the better visual up there in the helicopter that it is, in fact, a woman and not a man with long hair. So we're watching and showing a replay here where she runs out towards the center of the street, almost like she's running towards the CHP unit there. Very interesting. And there's the dog trying to get close to her.
I think she was just, yeah, I think she, I don't know, just so panicked. The emotions running very high, and there definitely was no, logic to the situation. I mean, there really hasn't been from the very beginning. So, not sure what it was. It just kind of panicked after, romping, getting a little bit of air there with that vehicle. Didn't like what happened and just stopped the vehicle and decided to get out and run. I mean, it was going to have to end at some point. Maybe they were nearly out of gas or just couldn't take it anymore. But it has ended. I mean, it was almost certainly going to end this way, one way or another. Just very fortunate fortunate for everyone that this didn't end with a crash with that huge SUV, which we saw at times was over 100 miles an hour, was on the right-hand shoulder, the wrong side of the road, the center divider, over the center divider, blasting through red lights. There was so much danger in this one, so this really ended the best way it possibly could, Amy.
It sure did, Desmond. Along with Desmond Shaw up in SkyCal, I'm Amy Johnson. You have watched the end of this pursuit, ending in the best case possible with the driver stopping and now in custody. We will return you back to regular scheduling programming.